Introduction. The illusion of motivation. Many people believe that motivation is the secret ingredient to success. They wait for inspiration to strike before taking action, thinking that once they feel motivated, everything will fall into place. But here's the truth. Motivation is fleeting, unreliable, and often overrated. The real key to success lies in consistency and discipline, the ability to show up and do the work, even when you don't feel like it. Motivation feels good, but it rarely lasts. It's an emotional state influenced by external factors. One day, you feel unstoppable, and the next, you struggle to get out of bed. This creates a dangerous cycle, where people rely on motivation to get started, but quickly burn out when it disappears. Instead of waiting for the right mood, successful individuals rely on systems and habits that keep them moving forward regardless of their emotional state. This book is about shifting your mindset from chasing motivation to embracing consistency. By understanding how small, repeated actions compound over time, you'll realize that true success doesn't come from a single moment of inspiration, but from showing up every day. Through practical strategies, scientific insights, and real-life examples, you'll learn how to develop unshakable discipline, build habits that last, and create a framework for long-term achievement. Forget waiting for motivation to strike. Instead, learn how to cultivate the power of consistency and take control of your success. Because in the end, consistency always wins. Chapter 1. Why Motivation Fails. Motivation is a powerful force, but it is also one of the most unreliable tools for success. It comes in waves. One day, you are energized and eager to take on the world, but the next, you feel drained and uninspired. People who depend on motivation often experience a roller coaster of productivity, where bursts of excitement are followed by long periods of inaction. This inconsistency is the reason why so many people struggle to maintain progress toward their goals. One of the biggest flaws of motivation is that it is based on emotion. Emotions, by nature, are unpredictable and influenced by countless external factors. A good night's sleep, an inspiring speech, or an exciting new project can spark motivation. But stress, exhaustion, or minor setbacks can just as easily extinguish it. If you rely on motivation to dictate your actions, you are essentially allowing fleeting emotions to control your progress. Successful people do not wait to feel inspired before they take action. They take action regardless of how they feel. Consider the common example of New Year's resolutions. Every year, millions of people set ambitious goals, feeling highly motivated as they make plans for change. They sign up for gym memberships, start new diets, or commit to waking up early. But as the excitement wears off, so does their commitment. By February, many of these resolutions are abandoned. Why? Because these individuals relied solely on motivation without building the habits and systems necessary for consistency. The truth is that motivation can be a great starting point, but it should never be the foundation of success. Instead, consistency is what truly drives long-term results. When you build habits that support your goals, you remove the need for motivation altogether. You don't have to feel inspired to take action. You simply do it because it has become part of who you are. So, how do you transition from a motivation-dependent mindset to one that prioritizes consistency? It starts with understanding the power of habits and systems. Instead of relying on bursts of enthusiasm, create a structure that keeps you moving forward even on difficult days. For example, if you want to become a writer, don't wait until you feel motivated to write. Set a schedule and stick to it, even when the words don't flow easily. If you want to exercise regularly, don't depend on motivation to get to the gym. Make it a non-negotiable part of your daily routine. Another key aspect of breaking free from motivation-based thinking is embracing discipline. Discipline is what allows you to take action despite discomfort or resistance. It is the ability to push through obstacles, show up when you don't feel like it, and keep going even when progress is slow. Unlike motivation, which is temporary, discipline is a skill that can be strengthened over time. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes. It is also important to reframe the way you view progress. Many people fall into the trap of thinking that success requires massive, immediate results. When they don't see instant progress, they lose motivation and give up. However, true success is built on small, consistent actions repeated over time. A single workout won't make you fit, just as a single productive day won't make you successful. But when you show up day after day, those small efforts compound into something significant. Success is not about waiting for the right moment. It is about creating the right habits and showing up every single day. If you want to achieve your goals, stop chasing motivation and start embracing consistency. Because in the end, consistency always wins. Chapter 2. The Science of Consistency. If motivation is the spark that ignites action, consistency is the fuel that keeps it burning. While many people rely on fleeting moments of motivation, the most successful individuals understand that consistency is the true driver of long-term achievement. But why does consistency work so well? The answer lies in both psychology and neuroscience. Our brains thrive on routine. Through a process called neuroplasticity, repeated actions create and strengthen neural pathways, making behaviors easier and more automatic over time. This is why skills like playing an instrument, speaking a language, or exercising regularly become second nature when practiced consistently. The brain rewires itself to prioritize repeated behaviors, reducing the mental effort required to perform them. Another crucial principle supporting consistency is the compound effect. Small, incremental improvements, when repeated daily, lead to exponential growth. Imagine improving by just 1% every day. By the end of a year, you will be 37 times better than when you started. This applies to all aspects of life, from personal development to career advancement and health. One of the best ways to build consistency is through habit stacking, a technique where you attach a new habit to an existing one. If you already have a habit of drinking coffee in the morning, you can stack another habit, such as journaling, reading, or stretching, immediately after. This method reduces resistance to new habits by linking them to familiar behaviors. However, consistency is not just about building habits. It is also about resilience. Success is rarely linear, and setbacks are inevitable. The key is to keep going despite challenges. Those who rely on motivation tend to give up when things get tough, but those who embrace consistency understand that showing up, even imperfectly, is more important than waiting for the perfect moment. Another factor that influences consistency is environmental design. The people and surroundings around you play a significant role in shaping your behaviors. If you want to read more, keep books in visible places. If you want to exercise regularly, prepare your workout clothes the night before. By structuring your environment to make good habits easy and bad habits difficult, you increase your chances of staying consistent. The role of identity-based habits is also crucial in achieving consistency. Instead of merely setting goals, successful individuals reshape their self-image to align with their desired habits. Rather than saying, "I want to run a marathon," they say, "I am a runner." When your identity aligns with your habits, maintaining consistency becomes second nature. Additionally, consistency requires tracking progress. Many people lose motivation because they don't see immediate results. However, when you track your progress, whether through journaling, habit tracking apps, or simply marking a calendar, you create visible proof of your efforts. This reinforcement helps build momentum and strengthens commitment. Finally, it's important to understand that consistency does not mean perfection. Many people abandon their goals because they miss a day or slip up. The key is to focus on getting back on track as quickly as possible. A missed workout or an unproductive day does not erase the progress you've made. What truly matters is your ability to return to your habits and keep moving forward. In this chapter, we've explored the science behind consistency and why it is the foundation of success. In the next chapter, we will dive into practical strategies for building unshakable discipline and ensuring that consistency becomes a natural part of your daily life. If motivation is the spark that ignites action, consistency is the fuel that keeps it burning. While many people rely on fleeting moments of motivation, the most successful individuals understand that consistency is the true driver of long-term achievement. But why does consistency work so well? The answer lies in both psychology and neuroscience. Our brains thrive on routine. Through a process called neuroplasticity, repeated actions create and strengthen neural pathways, making behaviors easier and more automatic over time. This is why skills like playing an instrument, speaking a language, or exercising regularly become second nature when practiced consistently. The brain rewires itself to prioritize repeated behaviors, reducing the mental effort required to perform them. Another crucial principle supporting consistency is the compound effect. Small, incremental improvements, when repeated daily, lead to exponential growth. Imagine improving by just 1% every day. By the end of a year, you will be 37 times better than when you started. This applies to all aspects of life, from personal development to career advancement and health. One of the best ways to build consistency is through habit stacking, a technique where you attach a new habit to an existing one. If you already have a habit of drinking coffee in the morning, you can stack another habit, such as journaling, reading, or stretching, immediately after. This method reduces resistance to new habits by linking them to familiar behaviors. However, consistency is not just about building habits, it is also about resilience. Success is rarely linear, and setbacks are inevitable. The key is to keep going despite challenges. Those who rely on motivation tend to give up when things get tough, but those who embrace consistency understand that showing up, even imperfectly, is more important than waiting for the perfect moment. In this chapter, we've explored the science behind consistency and why it is the foundation of success. In the next chapter, we will dive into practical strategies for building unshakable discipline and ensuring that consistency becomes a natural part of your daily life. Chapter 3. Building Unshakable Discipline. Discipline is the foundation that transforms intentions into actions and dreams into reality. Unlike motivation, which fluctuates, discipline is the unwavering force that keeps you moving forward regardless of circumstances. But how do you develop unshakable discipline? In this chapter, we will break down practical strategies that help you cultivate discipline, eliminate distractions, and take control of your daily actions. Discipline starts with clarity of purpose. If you don't have a strong enough reason to stay committed, you will always find excuses to quit. Clearly defining your why gives you a compelling reason to persist, even when the process becomes challenging. Ask yourself, why is this goal important to me? What will my life look like if I stay disciplined? What will happen if I don't? Writing down these answers reinforces your commitment and keeps you focused. Another key component of discipline is creating non-negotiable habits. Many people struggle with self-discipline because they give themselves too many choices. When you view your habits as optional, it's easy to skip them. Instead, remove the decision-making process altogether by committing to daily routines that become automatic. For example, instead of deciding whether or not to exercise, make it a default part of your day, just like brushing your teeth. To build strong discipline, you must also eliminate distractions. In a world filled with endless digital notifications and competing priorities, distractions are the enemy of progress. Identify the biggest distractions in your life and create systems to minimize them. This may mean setting screen time limits, using website blockers, or creating a dedicated workspace free of interruptions. Discipline also requires embracing discomfort. Growth and success often come from pushing beyond your comfort zone. The key is to train yourself to tolerate discomfort and see it as a sign of progress rather than a reason to stop. One technique is voluntary hardship, where you intentionally introduce small challenges into your routine, such as taking cold showers, waking up earlier, or exercising when you don't feel like it. These small acts build mental resilience and train your brain to accept discomfort as part of growth. Another powerful tool for strengthening discipline is habit tracking. When you visually track your habits, you create a sense of accountability. A simple method is to use a habit tracker or a calendar where you mark each day you successfully complete a task. Over time, the desire to keep your streak going can be a powerful motivator. Accountability partners also play a crucial role in maintaining discipline. When someone else is aware of your goals, you are more likely to follow through. This could be a friend, coach, or online community. Having regular check-ins and sharing progress with someone adds an extra layer of commitment and responsibility. In addition to external accountability, self-discipline requires internal rewards. While discipline is about doing the hard work, it doesn't mean you can't celebrate small wins. Rewarding yourself for sticking to your habits, whether it's a break, a treat, or time spent on a hobby, can reinforce positive behavior and make the journey more enjoyable. One of the most important aspects of discipline is learning to reset after failure. No one is perfect, and setbacks are inevitable. The difference between disciplined individuals and those who quit is their ability to recover quickly. Instead of letting a missed workout or a bad day derail your progress, acknowledge it, learn from it, and get back on track immediately. The key is to never miss twice. One slip-up is normal, but letting it become a pattern is what leads to failure. Finally, discipline is not about rigid self-control. It's about creating a lifestyle where consistency becomes effortless. When you align your habits with your identity, discipline no longer feels like a struggle. You don't force yourself to be disciplined. You simply embody the mindset of someone who shows up and does the work every day. In the next section of this chapter, we will explore how to build discipline through long-term commitment strategies and mental resilience techniques to ensure you stay on track no matter what challenges arise. Chapter 4. How to create systems. That work. Success isn't about working hard in short bursts. It's about building systems that ensure progress, even on days when you don't feel like it. The most successful individuals don't rely on willpower alone. They create environments and structures that make consistency inevitable. In this chapter, we will explore how to design systems that help you stay on track, automate productivity, and make success a natural outcome of your daily habits. A system is a set of repeatable processes that guide your actions without requiring constant decision-making. Instead of relying on motivation, systems help you remove friction and make good habits effortless. For example, if your goal is to exercise consistently, setting out your workout clothes the night before and scheduling workouts in advance eliminates the need to decide each day whether you will exercise or not. It becomes automatic. One of the most effective ways to create a system is through habit bundling, also known as habit stacking. This method involves linking a new habit to an existing one. For example, if you already drink coffee every morning, you can attach a productive habit to it, such as journaling or planning your day. By integrating new behaviors into routines that are already established, you make them easier to sustain. Another critical aspect of building effective systems is simplifying decision-making. Many people fail to stay consistent because they get overwhelmed by too many choices. By reducing decision fatigue, you increase your ability to follow through. This can be achieved by pre-planning meals to stick to a healthy diet, setting a fixed bedtime to improve sleep quality, or using time blocking to structure your workday efficiently. In addition to simplifying decisions, you must design an environment that supports your goals. Your surroundings heavily influence your behavior, often more than willpower does. If you want to eat healthier, keeping junk food out of your home and stocking up on nutritious options makes it easier to make better choices. If you want to read more, placing books in visible and accessible places encourages the habit. By shaping your environment to align with your goals, you make success the default option. Another key element of a strong system is accountability mechanisms. Holding yourself accountable can be done through tracking progress, joining a support group, or having a mentor or coach. When you are responsible for reporting your actions to someone else or maintaining a streak, you are more likely to stay consistent. The key is to create external reinforcement that keeps you committed even when motivation wanes. Moreover, systems should be flexible, not rigid. A common mistake people make when building habits is expecting perfection. Life is unpredictable, and strict routines can lead to frustration when unexpected events disrupt them. The best systems allow for adjustments while maintaining the overall structure. For example, if you miss a scheduled workout, having a backup plan, such as a shorter at-home routine, ensures you stay on track without feeling discouraged. A well-structured system also includes rewards and reinforcements. Celebrating small wins reinforces positive behavior and keeps you motivated in the long run. Rewards don't have to be extravagant. They can be as simple as watching an episode of your favorite show after completing a productive work session or taking a relaxing walk after exercising. The key is to associate progress with positive reinforcement to make the process enjoyable. Finally, systems help you transition from a motivation-dependent mindset to an identity-based approach. Instead of saying, "I want to be someone who exercises," you become someone who naturally works out as part of your daily routine. When consistency becomes part of your identity, maintaining progress feels effortless rather than forced. In the next chapter, we will explore how to overcome procrastination and resistance, the biggest obstacles that prevent people from following through with their plans. Chapter 5. Overcoming Resistance and Procrastination. One of the biggest obstacles to consistency is procrastination. Even with the best systems in place, there will be moments when resistance takes over, when the urge to delay, to postpone, or to find an excuse becomes overwhelming. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't the absence of resistance, it's their ability to push through it. To understand how to overcome procrastination, we must first understand why it happens in the first place. Procrastination isn't just about laziness. It's often a reaction to fear, self-doubt, or perfectionism. When a task feels overwhelming, our brains seek short-term relief by engaging in distractions like social media, watching TV, or even doing less urgent but easier tasks. This avoidance brings temporary comfort, but over time, it increases stress, guilt, and anxiety, making the task feel even more daunting. Fear of failure is one of the most common causes of procrastination. If we don't start, we can't fail. At least, that's the subconscious logic at play. But in reality, avoiding action is the biggest failure of all. Another common cause is perfectionism, the belief that if something can't be done perfectly, it shouldn't be done at all. This all-or-nothing mindset creates paralysis, preventing progress and reinforcing the habit of avoidance. To break free from this cycle, we must shift from seeing action as something we do only when we feel ready to seeing it as something we do regardless of readiness. One of the most effective ways to overcome procrastination is by reducing the friction between intention and action. The smaller the gap, the easier it becomes to follow through. A powerful technique is the 2-minute rule, which states that if a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately. This prevents minor tasks from piling up and becoming overwhelming. Another approach is the 5-second rule, where you count down from 5 and take action before your brain talks you out of it. This method bypasses overthinking and hesitation, forcing immediate movement. Breaking tasks into smaller steps also makes them more manageable. Large projects can feel intimidating, leading to avoidance, but when broken down into bite-sized actions, they become much easier to start. Instead of telling yourself, "I need to write a book," say, "I will write 200 words today." Instead of thinking, "I need to get in shape," say, "I will go for a 10-minute walk." Progress builds momentum, and momentum reduces resistance. Setting micro deadlines can also create urgency and accountability. Open-ended timelines often lead to procrastination, but when you give yourself a deadline, even for small tasks, you create a sense of urgency that drives action. Eliminating distractions is another key strategy for overcoming procrastination. Our environment heavily influences our ability to focus, and in a world filled with endless digital notifications, distractions are the enemy of progress. If your phone is your biggest distraction, keep it in another room while working. If social media tempts you, use website blockers to make access more difficult. Structuring your surroundings to make procrastination harder than productivity increases the likelihood of following through. But external changes alone aren't enough. Building an action-oriented mindset is equally important. Instead of identifying as someone who struggles with procrastination, start seeing yourself as someone who takes action. Identity-based habits help internalize this mindset. Instead of saying, "I need to stop procrastinating," say, "I am the kind of person who takes action immediately." This small but powerful shift in self-perception can transform behavior over time. Discomfort is an inevitable part of action, and learning to tolerate it is essential for overcoming resistance. Growth happens outside the comfort zone, and taking action, even when it feels difficult, is a skill that strengthens with practice. The more you prove to yourself that you can act despite resistance, the stronger your discipline becomes. Another key principle is the idea of never missing twice. Everyone has off days, and setbacks are normal. The problem isn't missing once. The problem is allowing a single miss to become a pattern. If you skip one workout, make sure you don't skip the next. If you procrastinate one day, commit to taking action the following day. This simple rule helps prevent small lapses from turning into long-term inconsistency. Ultimately, overcoming procrastination is about taking action before you feel ready. Most people wait for motivation, for the right mood, for a sign that it's time to start. But action creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation, not the other way around. The fastest way to change is to start, even if it's small, even if it's imperfect. Chapter 6. The Power of Identity-Based Habits. At the core of lasting consistency is not just what you do, but who you believe you are. Most people focus on changing their actions, but real, sustainable change happens when you shift your identity. When your habits align with your self-image, consistency becomes effortless. Instead of trying to force discipline, you become the type of person who naturally follows through. This chapter explores how identity-based habits work and how you can rewire your mindset to create consistency without relying on motivation. Your identity shapes your behavior. If you see yourself as someone who struggles with procrastination, you will continue to find ways to avoid tasks. But if you begin to internalize the identity of someone who takes immediate action, your behavior will change accordingly. Instead of saying, "I need to start exercising," say, "I am the kind of person who exercises daily." Instead of thinking, "I should read more," tell yourself, "I am a reader." This shift moves habits from something external to something that is a natural part of who you are. The key to building identity-based habits is reinforcement through action. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. If you consistently write, you reinforce the identity of being a writer. If you consistently wake up early, you reinforce the identity of being a disciplined person. It's not about making one grand gesture. It's about making small decisions day after day that align with the person you want to be. One of the best ways to implement identity-based habits is through habit stacking. This involves attaching a new habit to an existing one. For example, if you already drink coffee every morning, you can add a productive habit right after, such as journaling or stretching. Because the existing habit is already part of your routine, the new habit becomes easier to adopt. Another strategy is visualizing success and reinforcing positive self-talk. When you repeatedly tell yourself that you are disciplined, focused, and capable, your brain starts to believe it. The language you use to describe yourself matters. Instead of saying, I'm bad at staying consistent. Say, I am learning to become more consistent every day. This shift in language reinforces a growth mindset and helps eliminate limiting beliefs that sabotage progress. Your environment also plays a critical role in shaping your identity-based habits. If you surround yourself with people who embody the traits you want to develop, their habits and mindset will naturally influence you. If you want to become more active, spend time with people who prioritize fitness. If you want to read more, join a book club or keep books in visible places. The more your surroundings align with your desired identity, the easier it becomes to reinforce the habits that support it. But identity-based habits don't mean perfection. The goal is not to never miss a day. It's to never let a setback define who you are. Even when you break a habit, remind yourself that it does not erase your progress. The key is to get back on track quickly. If you miss a workout, don't say, I failed at being disciplined. Instead, say, I am someone who works out regularly, and I'll be back at it tomorrow. This mindset prevents small slip-ups from turning into long-term inconsistency. Identity-based habits create an automatic feedback loop. The more you act in alignment with your identity, the more you reinforce that identity, which in turn makes those actions easier to repeat. Over time, this builds an unstoppable cycle of consistency that doesn't require motivation or willpower. It just becomes part of who you are. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to turn setbacks into stepping stones, ensuring that obstacles don't derail your progress, but instead become opportunities for growth. Chapter 7. Turning setbacks into stepping stones. Failure is inevitable. No matter how disciplined, consistent, or prepared you are, setbacks will happen. The true test of success is not whether you avoid failure, but how you respond to it. Those who achieve long-term success don't see setbacks as defeats. They see them as stepping stones, opportunities for learning, growth, and improvement. In this final chapter, we will explore how to reframe failures, develop resilience, and keep moving forward, no matter what obstacles come your way. The first step in turning setbacks into growth opportunities is reframing failure. Most people view failure as a reflection of their abilities, but in reality, failure is simply data. It's information that tells you what isn't working and what needs to change. Instead of thinking, I failed, so I'm not good enough, shift your perspective to, this didn't work, so I need to adjust my approach. Every successful person has failed multiple times. The difference is that they don't let failure define them. They use it as feedback and move forward. Another key to overcoming setbacks is building emotional resilience. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to get discouraged and feel like giving up. But resilience isn't about ignoring negative emotions. It's about acknowledging them and choosing to take action anyway. One way to build resilience is by practicing self-compassion, treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend who is struggling. Instead of criticizing yourself for making mistakes, remind yourself that setbacks are part of the journey. One powerful strategy for bouncing back from failure is the "what's next" mindset. When faced with a setback, instead of dwelling on what went wrong, ask yourself, what's next? This simple question shifts your focus from past mistakes to future actions. It keeps you in a problem-solving mode rather than a self-defeating one. The faster you shift from frustration to action, the quicker you regain momentum. Developing a growth mindset is another essential part of overcoming setbacks. A fixed mindset sees failure as proof of inability, while a growth mindset sees it as an opportunity to improve. Instead of thinking, "I'm not good at this," reframe it as, "I'm not good at this yet." This shift in perspective allows you to view challenges as part of the learning process rather than personal shortcomings. Another practical approach to handling setbacks is creating a recovery plan. When setbacks happen, instead of waiting for motivation to return, have a clear plan in place to get back on track. This might include setting smaller, achievable goals to rebuild momentum, reaching out for support from a mentor or accountability partner, or reviewing past successes to remind yourself of your capabilities. Having a structured way to recover from setbacks ensures that you don't stay stuck for too long. Lastly, embracing adaptability is crucial for long-term success. Rigidity in your approach can make setbacks feel like insurmountable failures, but flexibility allows you to adjust and keep moving forward. Successful individuals are willing to modify their strategies when necessary, while keeping their ultimate goals in focus. They understand that the path to success is rarely a straight line. Progress often comes through detours and adjustments. Consistency is not about being perfect. It's about always coming back. Even when life gets in the way, even when progress is slow, even when setbacks happen, what matters is that you don't stop. The most successful people aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who never quit. With this final chapter, we close the book on the myth of motivation. Success isn't built on waiting for inspiration to strike. It's built on showing up, doing the work, and staying consistent. Now, it's time to take action. Embrace the power of consistency and turn every challenge into an opportunity for growth. Conclusion. The new formula for success motivation is unreliable. Discipline and consistency are what truly create lasting success. Throughout this book, we've dismantled the myth that motivation is the key to achieving your goals. Instead, we've uncovered the truth. Showing up every day, regardless of how you feel, is what separates those who succeed from those who remain stuck in cycles of inconsistency. By shifting your mindset from chasing motivation to embracing systems, identity-based habits, and structured routines, you take control of your progress. You no longer wait for the perfect conditions to take action. You create the conditions yourself. You recognize that setbacks are not the end of the road but stepping stones toward improvement. Every small action you take builds momentum, and momentum leads to mastery. Success is not about waiting for inspiration. It's about taking action, refining your approach, and committing to long-term growth. When you align your actions with the person you aspire to be, consistency becomes effortless. You don't have to force yourself to be disciplined. You simply live in alignment with your values and goals. Now, the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue waiting for motivation to strike, or will you take control and start building a future based on consistency? The choice is yours, and the power to change is in your hands. The time to act is now, because in the end, consistency always wins.